and we are out doing some fishing. I'm here at a local pond. It's a little place I like to go to because it's quick to get to, and hopefully you guys can see from where you're situated. I'm gonna throw a line out and see if we can get something. If we don't, it is what it is, but a day fishing is better than a day working. So let's go have some fun. Y'all come on. Good morning. Just about to go out and cast a line out here, see what we can get. As I said at the opening there, I'm just at a local pond trying to catch a little something. So we're going to throw a line out and I'll show you what I'm using. This is my favorite setup right here. This is what I call or they call a Chigger Craw. And I've got it set up so that it's weedless. And I got a little split shot on top of it. So we're going to see what's going on. So let's go see if we can get a bite or something. Now this is something I like to let it sink to the bottom before I start reeling it in, and then I just kind of work it up and down on the bottom, little jerking action. So. What's going on? Hey, Minnesota Mike, good to see ya. How's it going? And Justin Zuba, good to see you, buddy. So, again, out here doing a little fishing, trying out my Chigger Craw bait here. And I did have a little bite. We wait for rain here to walk up on the steelhead as the vibrations from the rain hitting the ground mask the sound of the feet walking. Moccasins help some and going slow too. Yeah. And not really much problem with that out here. These fish aren't the brightest fish, and there's a whole bunch of bluegill swimming right here at the edge, but they're little bitty ones. They're only about that long. Let's see if we can get something else going. Now I gave that plenty of slack, so it's going to sink to the bottom, and I can watch that line, and when it starts kind of moving out fast, that's when I know I got a bite on it. And out about, I want to say, probably 20 yards is a bunch of logs that are sticking up like this, and it's probably about 3-4 inches below the surface, so it provides good cover for the bass. Let's see if we can get one. There, I was hung up on some of that debris, but because the way I have it set up weedless, it won't snag. Sometimes it does. No, you guys couldn't see it, but there was about a bass, probably about that long, that swam just right here in front of me. So they're out there feeding. Big hooks catch big fish. Exactly. That's what we're going for. We'll get us another cast out here. I like to get it out there pretty far so that it has time to sink down. That way I'm not bringing it in down at an angle. Well, so far we've only had the one nibble. Hey, Pest Hunter. How's it going? Good to see you. Trying to see if we can get us some bass out here. Had, what, 3 casts, 2-3 casts, and 1 nibble. So we're gonna keep at it. We're gonna get one. I'm not getting skunked today. Yeah, so far they're being a little finicky. Hey, Mainly, good to see you. Decided I'd get out here and do a little fishing since I didn't go camping this weekend, which we all know I love to do, but the weather forecast was kind of iffy on rains, and I usually come back on Sunday and it was talking thunderstorms with wind and hail, and I don't like packing up all my gear wet. If it had been, you know, say Saturday or Friday night, wouldn't have cared a bit, but I just don't like packing up wet gear, that's for sure. But let's give it another try, see if we can get something going here. Hey, Food Forest, I appreciate you coming. We'll catch you on the next one. Well, so far they haven't bid on that. Checking out these tails, they seem to be kind of sticking together. Let's separate them up. On these Chigger Craws here, show you that. See how it's got these little tails? They separate apart and they twirl in the water. And then of course you got these claws on the side that back and forth. So can't believe there hadn't been any action. I've been out here twice since in the past couple weeks. Haven't really done. I caught one little one, but I used to come out here early in the morning all the time, and I would catch at least 5 or 6 decent ones. So that's what we're after. And I wouldn't say that out here there's any like 5-6 pounders or anything like that. Mainly just I would say if you catch a 2-pounder, you're doing all right. And lots of bluegill. There's a little bit of crappie in here. I think a lot of the people take those home. You're limited to one bass out here, and I think it has to be I think over 21 inches or 23 inches. I'm not sure on that. Might even be 25, but the chances of finding one of those in here are pretty slim. So a lot of people fish here, and they'll probably get crowded. I did see there is one guy over on the dock. He's off over there. Oh, he's out there. Oh, he's doing a sailboat. Can't get the trees out of the way for you to see it, but he's got a little remote control sailboat out there. Let's see if we can get the sailboat he's got out there is pretty slick. It's probably about 3.5 foot tall on the top of the main there. But you got him moving around pretty good. Might have to redo this. I think I got the snag back there. She broke. Using 20-pound braided line. Yeah, I appreciate that, Mike. Give that little thumbs up for me. I had a good bite. He was headed out, but he must have gone into that debris there and got tangled up. So I'm going to rebait here. If you'll bear with me a moment here, get this set up again. Won't take me too long. We'll try to use the same bait. What I'm using here is a Gamatsu hook, and it's got that extra long so it'll go out through the bait and makes it easier to get a good hook set. All right, got me another one of these fresh out of the bag there, and as you can see, the fins are attached, and I've just popped those off. I don't detach the center part because I want those to stay together. So as you can see, I've removed one. And you can kind of see in the middle there how those are still attached together. And get these other ones popped off. And then we're gonna rig it so it's weedless. And I'll just start from the top, go in about what I think that distance for this part of the hook is, come back out just like that. I'm showing this for my buddy Randy over at Ozark's Great Adventures in case he happens to want to check out how I do this. And as you can see, that's where I got it. And then I don't want to pull down on the bait too much here when I do it, but I'll find out where the max length is, and I'll bring it up, slippery little sucker, put it in about dead center, push it straight through, so now it's coming out the back side there. You can see that. And then I pull the bait up a little bit and then push it down on the tip of that hook. So see how that loops back in there? And that's what helps keep it weedless. When the fish bites down on it, he bites down on it here, and that pulls the hook out. See how that came out? That's what we're hoping for, to be able to get a good set. And last but not least, I got to add a split shot here right above it, and that makes it so it dives down, and when it does, those flippers will wiggle around in the water. Need to get the pliers to pinch that down. And there you have it. We're all set. And the reason I put that split shot there instead of a slip weight is because I want it to stay there and pull the nose of this down. So when it's upside down in the water because of the weight, it's going to make it dive, and that means the fins back here are flipping around. Yeah, I love that background sound. Hey, River Rat Life, good to see you. Appreciate you coming. We're out here after some bass. Probably going to be all little ones. I just had a decent bite, but the sucker pulled me out into some debris. This is a pond full, a lot of concrete trash and logs and things like that, which is perfect for the fish. But hey, Nancy, good to see you. We're gonna see if we can get something on this, maybe get on whatever got me wrapped around that debris. I don't know where the guy went that's controlling the sailboat. The sailboat is clear over on that side, and he was over there on the dock. That's a pretty good distance for remote control. if you hear big splashes and see something jumping, that's that grass carp out here. There's a bunch of those. Nice thing is I can just set that, let that sink to the bottom. Hey, Burko's Fishing Adventure. Hey, I appreciate you coming. Got Nancy and Mike and Anyfin. Good to see you, Anyfin. Haven't had anything bite, or I haven't caught anything yet. I've had a couple little nibbles. So, and that last one was pretty strong, so that might have been a decent sized one. Some of that debris out there is a concrete slab. It's at an angle like this and it kind of rolls down it. I also like to give a little pause every now and then because I tend to be casting in the same area of where that debris is. Somebody's got the coffee ready? Where's mine? What? No, I need coffee. Coffee. That's what I forgot to get. That's all right. I got me the dew, so. Sipping coffee and waiting on fish. That's exactly the way to do it. Let's see. I know there's one lurking out there, maybe two. Well, had a little nudge, but that was about it. All right, let's throw a little something different at him. We're gonna try a little bit of the wacky rigging, see if that encourages anything. I always got to be careful with the wacky rig on these. Go for the drop shot. I would, but I know the bottom of this lake has a lot of heavy debris on it, and drop shots really snag easily in this stuff. So, like I said, the wacky gets that kind of wiggly motion going down, so that's what we're going for. So right now, I'm casting to either side of the debris out here in front of me, so I don't get snagged up on that. Yeah, no nibbles on that, so we're gonna go back to the Chigger Craw. Getting a bluegill. Tempting, but like I said, they're little bitty things. They're about like that. I've seen a few bigger ones. This right here, and what I'm using it on, this is the Piscafin serpent rod. It's a 6'10" medium action. It says 8 to 17 pound, but I got 20-pound braided on here. It's got a 6.2 to 1 gear ratio on it, which I like that better than the 5. And it's got 10+1 ball bearing, which has a real smooth roll to it. I actually got this from a buddy of mine, JV Outdoors. He had a little contest going with one of his buddies where he was giving away a tackle box, a bunch of lures, fishing pole, and 2 different kinds of reels. I think I got a bait caster with it too, and this is one of them, and I really like it. I mean, it's surprising. It's got smooth action. I do like the bigger knob on it. All right, let's see if we can't stir something up. It had a little bite there. I'm not sure what it was. Let's see. Another coffee run. Guys are making me wish I'd brought some coffee. Now, I don't know if that was a turtle out there messing around with my bait. I don't think so, because it did a pretty good dart with it, but it just barely got a hold of it. So what I'm seeing here is I probably need to let them play with it a little bit, a little munch on it, get it in their mouth, then set the hook. Yeah, they're picking it up and toying with it, but they worked on you for a long time at the dentist, eh? Yes, they definitely have that. Yeah, I don't like going to dentists at all. If I got anything major to do, I want them to knock me out. Because I'm one of those people that things like Novocaine don't really work that well. I can do the nitrous oxide, and I feel everything they're doing, but with the nitrous oxide, you just don't care. So, ouch, removing teeth, painful. Something was on it. See what it did? Something was definitely on it. It was good size too. Had a nice little tug at it. Alright, I'm bound and determined. Don't know what it is yet. Ah, 400 per tooth. Is that what I'm seeing? Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, that hurts more than just the thought of getting a tooth pulled. Still can't believe I haven't set the hook on one. Hey, did I see Randy? See a hey to Randy. There he is. Hey Randy, this is something I wanted to show you. You always wondered about how to rig the plastics. This is what I got here. This is Chigger Craw, one of my favorite baits to use. And I've got, now kind of pop the hook out here so you can see it. See how I got that set right there? And I'm going to take that and I'm just going to put it just barely under the surface. See how that's set in there? Move this fin out the way. So basically that hook comes down, goes out and around. So see here, there's where the tip of it is, right below that weight. And it goes straight down, then it cuts out, and then it goes down, loops around. I go through my bait. Kind of got it off center a little bit, but that doesn't really matter. I mean, these things have, you can see it looks like the head of a crawdad. Got eyes on it, but it doesn't matter. They still bite. But the way I have it rigged up, I cast it out there, I let it sink to the bottom, and it'll go down. When it goes down like that. And all these fins and these tails get kind of action going. So I'll jerk it and pick it up, and then let it drop, and those tails will do that, and that turns on the fish. Yeah, on this size bait right here, on this one, you can see about the size of it. And Berkley makes this bait. It's called the Chigger Craw. Like I said, it's one of my favorites. It's got a scent on it, so it kind of attracts the fish. But I'm using a 4/0 hook on that. Sometimes I'll even use a 5/0 hook. I might even switch to it because I'm not getting any sets of the hook like I really want, but we'll see. We'll give it a try. And my favorite reel to cast this on, of course, is the spinning reel. It's a Viper X from, I believe that's another one from Piscafin. You can get these on Amazon, not too expensive. You can use braid on this and mono. Actually, you can use 30 to 270 pound braid on this. I'm actually using 20. I don't know why they said 30. You don't have to use 30 on it. But a 6'10" rod, and it yeah, I definitely wanted to show that to you, Randy. And then, like I said, I'm casting it out, and like I said, doing that little bit of jerking. And then one of the things, if you've got logs sticking out at an angle, and you basically are bringing this, see if I can do it. If you're bringing it up and it hits the log, you can sit there and get it to pop and hit the log, and it makes it look like it's going after something on the bottom side of a log. And with it weedless, then if you don't get anything, then it just kind of pulls up and over. Yeah, I did dedicate it to Randy. on. Fish on. I told you there was one out there. Little guy. Come on, hold still. I know you got a lot of fight left in you. You're a little one. There we go. I'm not skunked. I got me one. That's probably about just a little under a pound. Fish on.
Nice one.
It's a little one. There's trails out here where I'm fishing, and jogger just went by. All right, send you back. Thank you, Lord, for the catch. You didn't get skunked. Hotel Biggins, we're here. See you later. All right, that's what I was aiming for. Fish on. I think what I was doing is I fish a lot down in Arkansas, and we catch a lot of the bigger fish, bigger bass down there. And they're a lot of the bass I fish for there, you know, you could be anywhere around 3 pounds, 4 pounds, stuff like that. My buddy, he quite regular caught I would say between 7 and 9 pounds. He would catch about 5 or 6 of them a year at least. I don't know why I didn't ever catch one as much as I fished with him. We go out there from before first daylight till all day long until it was dark again. Yeah, I could turn the camera down. Let's see if we can get that. There we go. That better for you, Randy? And I just realized something. He shredded off both of those fins off of that. You're gonna have to grab another one. I'll show you the package here in a second, Randy, so you can see what those look like. Alright, here we go. So, there it is, the power bait, Chigger Craw. Right there. And that's, like I said, it's got the scented, so the fish go after it more. Now this is a little bit different color than the one I had before. The one I had before had a little blue tint in it. And that's okay, because this is kind of like a, I guess they call that a green pumpkin. Yep, green pumpkin, and it's 4 inches long. And here's the way they come. they come with these little fins attached on the side here, and I just break those off. But the center tassel here, you see this? You notice how that's still attached together? I leave those attached. I don't break those apart. I found that if you break those apart, they get out and wrapped around these flippers here, or the pinchers, and it doesn't give as much action. Morning Dawn Pink? That I don't know. I don't know that I've ever seen one in that color. And as far as depth out here, this is one of those borrow pits, and it's shaped kind of like a champagne glass. So it's, if you go out for the first part of it, it's not very deep. I would say, you know, right here at the shore, it starts off being about 2 foot deep, and it'll go out a little ways, and then it'll drop a little bit, and then it goes out a little bit more, then it gets real deep. And I'm told that it's about 30 or 40 foot deep at least out in the middle. And there's a couple of channels out here. And I'll show you, Randy, how I rigged this. So again, you see the hook there, and I'm just putting it in the very end of it here, just like that. And I came out, see it like that, and I'll put it up on the head here, and then I'll spin the hook around so that now the hook is facing back towards the bait. And I don't pull down on it any, because that'll disfigure it. But I do want to go where the bottom of the hook is, and go just pretty much straight in. So I take my fingers and I kind of pinch right where it is, and slide it along my thumbnail right there. Push it through so it comes through like that, and take it, and I'm pulling up on it a little bit here. So I'm going to pull up on it a little bit, and then let it right back down on the tip of that point. That's what helps keep it weedless. All right, got one on the board. We'll see if we can't get another one. I knew there was one out there, and I knew he was right around that debris. That's right where we've been getting all our bites from. So, but I think there's at least two of them. Well, nothing on that round. Yeah, I don't mind showing this rig. I mean, I like to keep it a secret, but heck, you know, I'll tell anybody. I'll tell them what's working, what isn't. Let's see if I miss anything. Nope. I appreciate everybody coming along and watching. Looks like it says we got 9 watching. I've got 16 thumbs up. That's awesome. Appreciate everybody watching. Even though we only got 1, but 1 is better than none. And of course, got the great view. Got great sound out here. You hear all the birds, and I heard a bullfrog over there a little bit ago. I've got a bird chirping over here in the tree. He's probably barely 5 foot away from me. I keep hearing him twitching around. So. Tolo Compa. Appreciate you coming. Did I say that right? I hope I did. Got something for you. Real tasty. Now I could, if I could get a side cast, I can get a side cast real good and get some good distance, but these trees won't allow it. But it's also not necessary, because I know further out is where it gets deeper and it's just a flat bottom. And the bass like the debris, so what we're going for is being around the debris. Got some little baby bass right there. What I think I'm gonna do here is give it a little bit of a rest. Yeah, this would definitely be an easy place to get tangled in the trees. Your fishing spot doesn't have any phone service. Well, you know, you can always record and we can watch later. No signal. Now, I do have another place that I was shown this weekend. My parents drove me out there and showed it to me. It's another little pond. It's a little smaller than this one, but there are regulations about what you can keep in the way of bass. You can keep 3 of them. I think they have to be, 2 of them have to be over 12 inches. And I can't remember, the other one was like over 15 or maybe even more than that. Hey Cornfed, how's it going? I've already got 1 on the board for the morning. I'm giving it a moment's rest because this is about the best place to catch bass on this lake. And sometimes I can catch them up in this corner, but that's usually when it's early, early around the start of the spawn. But there's not a lot of good area for the bass to spawn in this lake, so the bass population's not real big. But what I thought I would do is show you around a little bit here so you can get a better idea where I'm at and some of the gear I got with me. So let's see if we can't get you off the tripod here without shaking you guys up too much. Disconnect the charger. And you can see I got my tripod here. I'm gonna flip the camera so it looks better. There we go. And I've got the little red wagon. And so I got my chair there if I want to have a sit down spell. Got my tackle backpack with that's the bait we're using now. And if it gets super sunny, I got an umbrella here that I can attach to the arm of the chair and gives me shade to sit in. And of course, if I really get hot down in here, I can clip my fan on, give me a little air. But yeah, that's my little red wagon for getting me out here to where I'm fishing. Now I'll take you down here this little trail, show you where I'm fishing at. And you can get a look. And it kind of goes back up in a little cove there. Back over there. Right over there is another boat dock, just like the one off over there. But that one actually has a place where you can pull a kayak up out of the water onto it. And it's also, if people are handicapped but they kayak, it makes it easier for them to get in and out. Yeah, I'm prepped. I got all kinds of stuff. Even got battery packs for my phone and fan if I want to keep those charged up. If I don't necessarily have a problem with much of charging out here. But this is here in town where I live, and just right over there across the road from where you pull in here, the parking lot's over there, there's a Taco Bell and a Dunkin' Donuts, which I forgot to stop by and get me some coffee this morning. I surely should have. And then I don't know if you can see down in here, there's a minnow right there. I think that's a bluegill, but there's been several bass. Yeah, see them right there. And there's a couple of them over here. Then we got geese that hang out here, and saw a couple of ducks this morning. Yeah, it's nice that it is a still day. It's absolutely beautiful out here. Of course, you can tell there's a haze in the air, and that haze is actually smoke from the Canadian fire. Okay, so bluegill are on the beds right now. That's probably holding true here too, because we're about even across from where you guys are at, you and Colin over there in Iowa. But all right, let's get back up here on the, oh, and also I'm going to show you. You can see this little opening here. There's a trail that goes right through there. It's got a gravel in it. And that little signpost there, those are storyboards for kids to read if they want to come out here and walk that trail around through there. We get lots of rabbits out here too. And you can see over here, right over there, Taco Bell, Yo Quiero. Got a little Circle K, and of course Walmart's over there. Got everything right here in case I need something. Yeah, there's a lot of structure in here. Like I said, this is a burrow pit that they eventually just let it fill up, and it sat, you know, it was private property for quite a while, and the people weren't allowing people in here to fish. Flip that back around, get a good angle here. And then about, I want to say about 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, they opened it up. And yeah, DoorDash. Ooh, I didn't even think about that. Hey, DoorDash, go get me some coffee. Hey, we got AI nowadays. They just, hey, AI, find somebody to go get me some coffee and bring it. Get my power hooked back up here. There we go. All right. They've had enough chance to rest, so we're going to see if we can't stir them up again. Give that a moment to sink down while I go get me. If you ain't doing it, you ain't doing it right. That's what I always say. Now that's a little trick. Some of you may know it. Pulling out some line off to the side. Let it pop. And look at that. Free and clear. D-snag. After I do that, I like to check my bait, make sure that my hook isn't exposed. Yeah, we're good. You guys see that little trick I did to release that? Hey Tiffany, appreciate you coming by. But like I said, you pull that line out to the side when it's snagged, and then you just release it like that. And that sends a shock wave back up the line and kind of shakes the hook free. Got another fisherman out here. He's fly fishing. Nothing on that one there. I always check every so often to make sure that the tails haven't tangled up inside the hook here. You can do that from time to time. Looking good, no tears on the, it's got both paddles. So, and I use that couple of jerk and then let it drop. Couple of jerk and then let it drop. I use that technique, and then sometimes if you let it sink to the bottom and then just kind of reel it at a, not a slow speed, but a medium speed, and you could practice it up by the shore to see what it takes to get those flippers or the claws on the side to go in, and see what speed you need to reel it to get that kind of an action. And I have actually trolled with it like that and caught a lot of bass. No, it is not weightless. Let me pull that down there for you to see, cornbread. I have a little split shot at the head, and the reason I do that instead of a like a slip shot weight is once you pull back on the line, you know, so you pull it up a little bit and then it'll turn and dive down, and that'll cause those flippers and these tails will twirl. And so that way, you know, that weight doing it. If you put a slip shot on it, or slip weight on it, that weight will slip down the line, and then this will just sink slowly, and it won't get that flipping action that you want. And then the other thing about the weight is that if you pull it up to a log, let's see if I can demonstrate that again here. So if you've got a log in the water at an angle and you can pull it up, and it'll hit that, and you'll feel that little tug, and you can tell the difference if you get used to it between a fish tug and hitting something like a limb like that. And you can sit there and get it to go up and down at it, and it'll make those claws sit there and flip in the water, and it will hit the log and it'll stir up a little debris off of it, and it looks like a fish feeding on the bottom side of a log, pulling off stuff. Yeah, I would use the Ned rig. I've tried that out here and got way too many snags. There's a lot of debris out here. I think, there's street signs in here. There's a lot of concrete, trees. It was almost like somebody dumped a whole bunch of I won't call it highway trash, like if they tear up a road or something and they've got to find some place to dump it. They dumped it in this. So, but I still think there's at least another one out there. We're going to go get it. Was some of those bikes. I know a lot of people say that you should put a leader on the end of that braided line because the fish can see it. I've tried it with leader, without leader, with this bait, and it works just the same either way. So I appreciate that, Mike. Sounds like you're headed out. Probably got to take care of business there at home, which I totally understand. It is a beautiful day. Just wish that haze wasn't there, but then it's providing a little bit of cover so that the sun's not beating down as hard. That was a decent cast there. That probably went out about 40 yards. All right, I appreciate you coming, Randy. And I may be here for a little while longer if they don't pick up the bite. I might move over to this corner over here, but haven't really had much luck in the last couple of years over there. The guy's over there fly fishing. I'll keep an eye on him, see if he gets anything. But looks like we still got 5 watching, 17 thumbs up. I appreciate that. The likes. This is something I've actually haven't done a whole lot of fishing in the last 2 years, which I used to be real avid fisherman. I mean, just like I am about camping every single weekend, after work, or I used to work nights. You can always tell when it's something bigger, you know, like a bass or something that bites down on it, because it opens or pops the hook out. The bluegill can't get their mouth open wide enough, which is why I like that wide hook like that. They can't get it wide enough to open and bite down and release that hook. But whatever that was, it released the hook, but it felt light, so it was kind of small, maybe a little 12-inch bass. Something to drink here. The temperature out here couldn't be more perfect. I think it's probably about 72 degrees. Got a little slight cool breeze going. Couldn't ask for any better weather, but I could ask for a better bite. Well, I'm not doing any good standing there, so let me go get one. Nice thing about using this braided line is that line will sit on top of the water up here closer to me till it gets out to about, I can see the point where it's starting to pull it under is. Boater Outdoors. Subscribe to Boater. Well, I appreciate you coming by. Got 18 thumbs up. See if we can get us another one here. I said we got one on the board, but we're trying to hey, no problem. Yeah. Like I said, I'd like to shout out the channels. You know, you guys, if you get a chance, check each other out. There's a lot of good channels out there. I know I got Ozark's Great Adventures. He's got a lot of fishing videos and camping and hiking, and I actually got to meet him back in let's see, was that March, I think it was. Him and Mike Outdoors and 210 Adventures, or 210 Outdoors, and then two guys in the Ozarks, and Adam at GAEFT LLC. He is a firearms instructor. Yep, definitely one is better than none. And I keep getting nibbles, and I don't know if it's those snapping turtles down there around that debris, but I still believe there's at least one out there. I told you there was another one out there. Yeah, settle down. Look at there. I told you. Two on the board. All with the Chigger craw bait. Knew there was one out there. That one's probably 1.75 pounds. Hopefully you'll be back. Will you be missing stuff like this? And I'm looking around his mouth. I know a couple years ago when I was coming out here, every single one of them, their mouths were just tore up from people previously catching them and releasing, and you know, they must have been hard on them when they ripped the hooks out of them. But that's a purdy one. Yeah. Here we go. All right. See you back. Thank you, Lord. Appreciate that. Right on. Exactly what I was going for. And you can see how it does to the hook and the bait. The hook's pulled through. The bait's up here, but we can just slide it right back through. Slide our weight down. That weight being pinched, that split shot being pinched there, also helps keep that bait from sliding up the line and then getting all ripped up. Well, that one was a vicious one. We have damaged bait. Oh no. Gotta replace it. Show you what it did. Ripped off one of the claws. Time to get another bait, because we know they're biting on this. Fresh bait. Let's see if I can get this one centered better than I did last time. This all set up. I have to give that split shot another squeeze. All right, we're ready to go back at it. Yeah, fishy. Looks like we got 2 watching, 18 thumbs up. I appreciate that, and especially if you've been hanging in there this whole time. We got 2 on the board, and hoping to get some more. Get me a drink here. Almost looks like they're coming up towards the surface. Hey, Fisherman's Lodge, you just missed me catching one. I got two on the board. The first one was maybe about a pound, and that last one was about a pound and 3/4. Nice looking bass. Yeah, it was just, maybe 10 minutes ago, if that. So yeah, just like I said, a big snapping turtle had come up to the surface, and that's what I was worried was messing with my bait. But he was up on the surface, and he was good size. I mean, he was probably about that big around, and but the big bass was just almost straight down from him, so I knew it wasn't the snapping turtle. So maybe he's got a friend out there. We might give him a little bit to settle down. Let's see, Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. Hey, appreciate you coming by. Yeah, enjoying the day. It is actually really perfect weather for being out here for fishing. It's not too hot, not too cold. Slight breeze blowing. Got the birds chirping everywhere. Yeah, big turtles coming up. This is the first time I've seen turtles in this lake, and I've been fishing out here at least 5 years. So That was a big snapping. Something big jumping there. Maybe I should go after those that are trolling the shoreline. I'll have to check that out. Now this is something I hate to see out here. I mean, I don't know, somebody rigged themselves this is a little fishing pole, but as you can see, it's got a bunch of braided line wrapped up on it. There's a lot of geese and ducks out here, and little rabbits. I'd hate to see them get tangled up in that. So and just take this part off that's got the fishing line on it, and then we'll take it back and dispose of it properly. Alright, fishies, you got enough time to settle down. Time for you to bite again. Coming for you. Got your number. On the end of this pistol pin rod. 6 foot 10 inch rod, medium action. We're ready for you. You know, for I believe in this, yeah, I think this is Saturday morning. Figured I'd see a lot more people out there. They'll show us later. This place gets fished a lot. Well, nothing on that one. Hey, 210, you missed it. I got 2 on the board. I caught one probably about 15 minutes ago. It's probably about 1.75 pounds, and then the one earlier was probably right around a pound. But yeah, I got to show Randy how I rigged up this, my favorite bait. It's the Chigger Craw, and of course it's rigged up weedless with a split shot there on the end of it. Yeah, I don't know about catching a bunch out here. This is a little local pond here in town that a lot of people go to. But yeah, I love these. These things, you know, they're scented. They got a lot of action, especially with both claws, and then these little trailer tails that twirl in the water as you're moving. But been seeing some big snapping turtles. Randy, did you see the second one? I caught another one probably about 15 minutes ago. It was about 1.75 pounds. Had a big old snapping turtle right out there in front of me, and it was my bait was probably just almost straight down from it. We're gonna see if we can get on another bite. Yanking his leg, pulling his chain. Let that sink to the bottom. Heard the weirdest sound over there. Sounded like a little kid sneezing or something, but I didn't see anybody over there. It could be up on the walking trail. There's walking trails all around the lake. hawk sitting over there on that sign. We got signs that have storyboard things for the kids out here. You know, they come walking the trails. Of course, they get to see a lot of bunny rabbits. There's a lot of rabbits out here.
Are you catching anything?
Caught two.
Got two? What
Yeah.
were they?
Bass. Yeah.
Will you take them home and eat them?
Oh, no, I'm not even big enough.
Just for the fun of it.
Yeah.
Good for you.
They say, I think it's got to be over a certain length, like 21 inches or something like that. I've never caught one that big out of here, so
It's not that big a body of water.
yeah. A lot of people fish it too.
I can see that. Happy catching.
Thanks. Nice big bass right there. Probably about a pound and a half. They might be trolling the shores now. Pitching up and down the edges here. Like I said, I had that nice bass. It's probably about that long. It was just trolling the shores there. See if I can't throw it up the shoreline here. Can't do an overhand cast, so I gotta keep that rod tip down and cast it up that way. Yeah, the downside to pitching it up the shoreline here is there's a lot of the, like I said, the bluegill, and there's a few baby bass in there. Might be some crappie in there too, but they all mess with it, give little tugs at it. They end up tearing up your bait. That's why I like casting out around submerged debris like trees and stuff like that. Need a kayak to get out to them. Yeah, I could bring my kayak out here. This is a small pond, not very big. A lot of people fish it, and they fish from the bank mostly, but you know, maybe one of these days I'll bring my kayak out here. But I have it on a trailer, and I've got a 12-foot pedal kayak, and I run into the problem, you know, with a trailer. There's no trailer parking here. You got maybe 10 parking spots at most, and they got parking curbs. So I'd end up having to back in, and trailer's light enough I can lift it. So I could lift it up and over the curb there, but you know, it's all a big hassle. So I saved the kayak fishing for when I go out to the bigger lakes. Yeah. God, I know there's at least one more out there. That line sink a bit. Grab me a drink too real quick. Randy, did you get to see when I showed the my little red wagon rig here with all my gear in it? If I haven't shown you that, I know 210 hasn't seen it. Good. You know, I actually picked that wagon up cheap. I think it was on sale at I think it was Dunham's. I think I got it for like 29 bucks. I always wait to find a good sale on that. Now, if you're ever thinking about getting one, I've got the narrow, skinny tires. If you're thinking about getting one, especially if you're gonna take it around a lake, you might get the wider tire one. They roll a lot better off-road. These small wheels like this that are thin, they're only about that thick, they're good for pavement, and they're not as good on like grass and gravel and stuff. It was the right price, the right time, and it does what I need it to. Alright, it's that time to sink. It's time for fish. There we go. Fish on. Tell you, that's why I love that bait. There you go. 3 on the board. And I'll show you how that bait, it usually gets them right there in the corner of the mouth. Sometimes it gets them in the roof, but usually it's right there in the corner. There we go. Ooh, that one's got a little bit of a belly on it. That's a mama fish right there. She's probably getting ready to drop them. So that tells me the spawn hasn't happened, or maybe it's just starting. But there we go. I got one. Thank you, Lord. Appreciate that. It's been a blessed day out here for fishing, that's for sure. You want the wider tires, seat, and motor. I know what you're hinting out there. But you know, sometimes when you go out and you do this fishing like this in a little local pond, it's just something to jump out there and do. A little red wagon's just the trick. I was thinking about trying another pond, but this one's doing pretty good right now. And the bait survived. It didn't rip off any of the claws or the tail. So we're good to go. Alright, where's Big Brother? No orange shirt. Yeah. Well, I got the hat. Does that count? But yeah, the orange shirt was in the wash, so I guess I should have to be true to my channel, but it also kind of stands out against the water, so I don't know if maybe that might also be a deterrent. I wore it last time I was out here fishing and I didn't get I got one nibble. But yeah, like I said, the nice thing about this bait is when I pull it up and I pull it up against the limb, I can feel that weight hitting it. So you know if you're up against some debris, and then if they bite on it, you'll feel a tug away from you instead of just feeling that bump. You know, if you get used to it, and you know, I've been fishing this bait for years, but like I said, you can definitely feel when that weight hits that. And if you put it, you know, you might even practice it at home where you just lay it over something and then with your rod just kind of pull back on it until you feel it hit something. And you'll feel how it pulls away from it. But if a fish is on it, you'll feel a tug, 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 tug. So, I feel like there's one more out there. Of course, I say that every time, but that's a big grass carp. That was that long, right there. Yeah, those grass carp are annoying because they like to do a lot of jumping, and of course, a lot of people that don't know about the grass carp, they see the big fish jumping out in the middle and think they gotta try to cast out there to it. You're not catching a grass carp that way. I think what I'm gonna do, see if the hook's starting to get a little bit exposed. Reset that. It pays to keep an eye on that. Keep it weedless. Hey Matt, hey, good to see you. I got 3 on the board. Oh, good deal. Yeah, definitely. Getting used to that bait caster. If you master that, you'll be a step ahead of me, because I have yet to master that. My last bait caster is sitting in my warehouse, and it's been there for about 3 years. But yeah, Matt, I got 3 on the board, all using this Chigger Craw. I'll show you this. Chigger Craw, and it's got the little twirly tails on the end of it, weedless, and got a little split shot at the head of it. I used to, like I said, I used to do it with a slip shot bait, and had her weight, and I had the problem of it would slide up the line, and then if I'd hook a fish, so would the bait, and then it'd get all tore up, get rubbing up and down on the line. So give it another try. Excellent. Well, I had me another nibble out there. I know off over that way, quite a ways out, it gets shallow, so I think that might be a spawning bed area. What kind of bait caster do I have? This is Buschcraft Viper X. I actually I won this and the rod and a big tackle box with all kinds of stuff. I mean, I had I think it was this rod, this reel, a bait cast reel, fishing line from braided to monofilament and fiber, a whole bunch of fishing lures and weights and hooks and plastics, all kinds of stuff. Got them from Byron's Baits. Yeah, so if you rig them up, like I showed you with that weedless hook, and you know where it goes into it, and then it comes out, and then it curves out, and then it hooks through the bait, and then you hook it back into it just barely. That makes it weedless, so you won't pick up a lot of moss and stuff. And it helps if you hit a stick, it won't latch onto that either, so. Yeah, I'm still catching up on people's vids too. A two-man kayak. Yeah, that'd be great for you and your son to go out on. Biggest thing I tell people though when they get themselves a kayak is make sure that you tie your gear down to your kayak, because you turn that thing over, it's going to the bottom. You know, a lot of people will put floats. They'll put like a pool noodle on like this much of their pole, so that it makes it float. But I've got rod leashes on my kayak, so I'll put this down in a tube, and then I've got a little leash that'll hook over the handle here, and that way if it does happen to turn over, it'll stay in that tube. Oh, the bait caster I don't use, realize, and now that I think about it, it might even be on another rod that I won in that giveaway from, by the way, it was from JV Outdoors. He does a lot of his videos on, I think, Rumble, but he started back here doing some on YouTube because he didn't like how YouTube was doing some of the stuff, which I'm not super happy about the way they allow some things to happen, but yeah, I totally get where he's coming from. He's a good Christian man. Has he does I think he's some kind of a therapist or something, so he travels around, so he gets to go fishing around. I got to meet him a couple years ago at a meetup like we did. So but if you guys get a chance to check him out, JV Outdoors, he likes to go out catfishing. He went out, I think it was last night or night before, and he took along a 100 amp hour lithium battery that he was trying out to power his lights for all night long. So, but yeah, these this Piscofin rods and reels, you can get these on Amazon. They're not what I'd call high end, but so far I've been impressed with this Viper X spinning reel. It's a 10+1 ball bearing, and it's 6.2 to 1, which I like because it reels it in faster. So, all right, I've given them enough chance to settle down. We're gonna go catch that one that was biting. One of the things I like about this little pond, I mean, you can see that it's pretty calm out there. That's because it's set kind of down in. Catch Jonah's whale. Not in this little pond. Yeah, I wish I could get some that are, you know, eating size, but this lake only allows you one, and I think it has to be either 21 or 23 inches, and that's a good sized bass. So, my personal best, which 210s still got me on that one, but it was 5 3/4 pound, and it was 23 1/4 inches long. So that would be nice to catch, but I caught that when I was probably somewhere between 8 and 10 years old. Yeah, if you do go fishing, Randy, go live. Yeah, go live. I'll be there. I'll watch. Then again, I may be fishing myself. I might go try tomorrow morning on that other pond that I went and looked at with my folks the other day. It looked like a decent pond, but it was also right in on the outskirts edge of a city, and it was, I think it was close to like a high school because they had I think there were baseball fields there, and I think I saw the school, the gymnasium and everything. But it's a little small town, one of those that graduating class for seniors is probably like 10. Snag. Nope, got snagged. Ooh, might have got 3. Saved it. Look at there. So here's what happened. I got snagged on something. You see how many weights there are in that picture? Somebody was using monofilament line. Broke that off. Left that out there. Oh. It's got the hook on it too. It broke somebody's hook off. See that there? Yep. Reset the bait. Howdy. And we'll coil up all this mess and keep it and turn it back into the trash receptacle. And if you ever get time to, use this bait, if you start catching, 3 and 4 pounders, they will tear these up. They'll shake the daylights out of them until it just about shreds them. So you know, I've got probably 4 or 5 packs of them with me right now. Now I know I'm not going to catch that size here, but yeah, I keep plenty with me so that I don't run out, especially if they're biting. Every so often with the spray that gets loose in there, so I just pull some out. yeah, there was two bass that just swam by right there in front of me, and they were probably a little over a pound apiece. Okay, Randy, appreciate you stopping by again. Hey, 210, if you're still there, I had a question for you. I've been looking at the one wind hammocks here. Last night I was looking at them. I think it was the 12 footer, but I was kind of wondering, is that too long? I know it's a wide one, and I like the wider one. And then the other thing is, how well does that work with the one wind underquilt? So if you happen to know anything about those, and if you're still there, let me know. Otherwise, maybe I'll text you a little bit later and see. Looks like we got, I think, 4 watching, 21 thumbs up. Appreciate that. A lot of times when those bass are trolling the shoreline, it's a feeding time at this pond, and usually that's when a good bite is going on. So we're gonna, hopefully we're in a good bite. Since I'm live with you guys, I can't jump on my app there and check and see, but if you get any of those fishing apps that tell you about the lunar effect or whatever, it'll tell you when the major and minor bites are. And I've got a feeling that we're on the tail end of I think it was a major bite. It had been at about 4 o'clock in the morning, but sometimes it's different for different lakes. But then the other one's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So get me a drink. Right now I got it sitting out there by those spawning beds. Hopefully the bass are kind of trolling around there. Yeah, snagged that one on the tree, ripped off the claws. It's okay, this one did its job, it caught some. I didn't catch any this time, Randy. So I just had to reload. Snagged on the tree there, and I always forget to pull these claws out since I had to reload. There it should be. Looking at getting a DJI drone or camera or mic, I should say. Yeah, I've got a wireless mic. I could be using it, but I find that it makes it sound like you're talking in a tin can. DJIs are supposed to be pretty good about that, though. You can actually get an adapter that hooks onto your phone, and that'll give you a microphone jack on that adapter to be able to plug in the receiver transmitter, or actually it's basically a receiver for the DJI mic. But a lot of times now they're selling them with like the cameras, their action cameras and stuff like that, so it doesn't come with a receiver. The receiver's built into the camera, so you couldn't use it with your phone. And the particular model I got, it actually does work with different cameras and phones and things like that. So basically, that adapter is kind of like a laptop adapter, but it's got a USB-C connector on the end of it, so you just plug it into your port. And I got the one that has the microphone port, another C adapter, and a regular USB-A port on it. That way, you know, I can if I want to plug it into the computer, or if I want to plug in and like a flash drive and plug that into it and be able to copy files off my phone, I can do that. But it's usually got a short cord about that long that goes to it, and it's, some of them are long and slender, about that long, and then some of them are maybe about that wide, you know. So it just depends on which one you get. But you got to make sure that it has, you know, it might look like it has a microphone port, but it might be just a headphone port, because that's what people get them for, is so that they can plug headphones into it. You want to make sure that it also works with the mic. So if you're actually looking for that, that's what to keep an eye out for. We'll see if I get some. The breeze is starting to pick up. Well, you know, basically, and I'll show you what I'm using for putting it on the tripod here. I'll bring this down a little bit. So right now I've got this powering my phone so that it stays charged up, and then flip the camera around here so you can see it. So of course this is the 1/4 screw coming up through this one here. Get a kind of a side view. This little knob here, it's not spring loaded, it's this knob here tightens between here, so my phone will sit in this upright here, and I can leave enough room here at the bottom so that cord will plug in right there. Walkers. So that will plug in, and those adapters that are, like I'm talking about, will you know, their ends are very much like this right here. You got enough bend, I'll try to show it from the side, that you can put that up in your phone there. And then if you want to turn that horizontal, you've got a knob here on the back that you can rotate that so it's horizontal. And one of the nice things about this particular tripod is it has that arm that I can extend up and out. Show you this. So that is the full extension, but now I can lay that over and I can push that back through a little bit. But now you see how I've got it mounted there, so if I wanted the phone in a, like you said, that vertical position for the camera, I just rotate it like that, and then your phone is going to sit inside here this way, vertical, and then you can plug your power in right at the bottom. It doesn't get in the way. So I can actually, I might actually put that in there just like that. Slide this back over. Put you guys back in the cradle here. Flip it back around. There you go. So my phone is sitting in that vertically, but the bar that it's mounted to is horizontal. That's usually the way I have it. Get the power plug back in here. And we'll tilt that down so Randy can see the fishing instead of looking at the sky. There we go. Yeah, it's a really stout tripod, and it also has another feature that one of the legs unscrews and it's got a bigger thread on that, but if you turn it over, you know, so the bottom of that is more for setting on the ground, but if you turn it over and unscrew the little rubber cap on the end of it, it's got a 1/4 on there that you can mount your phone holder onto and be able to use that as your monopod. Use the battery back at the same time as the mic. Yes, you can, as long as you get the one that has like a C adapter on it. If your phone, I think you said you had a Samsung S23 or something like that, which is basically the same phone I have. I have the Ultra, but yeah, you just plug this C connector into it, and I may have it in the car. If I get a chance, I'll take a picture of it and send that to you. Hey, no problem, no problem. Been doing nothing but enjoying the day, the weather, the fishing. You know, it's getting a little bit warmer out here now, so. But let me throw a few more casts, see how I do. Turtle, I see you. The breeze had picked up earlier, and it was blowing across this way, so it made my line kind of curve way out and around. Makes it a little hard to keep an eye on your line. That's why I like it when it's kind of still like this. Oh, okay. I like messing with those bluegill. All right, Matt, appreciate you coming by. Oh, you got the 24 Ultra, nice. But yeah, it'll definitely do that. Like I said, I'll take a picture when I get a chance and send that over to you and show you what that looks like. But like I said, you want to make sure that port for the, you know, it looks like, you know, where you'd plug a set of headphones in it is both, it's capable of both headphone and mic. That's the most important thing. And that it also has a C port actually on the little box where your mic jack is. But yeah, I'll take a picture of the whole rig with it set up on the phone. Because I use that that cordless one. I use it with my 360 camera. I've got a way of mounting it on the side so it doesn't show up in the 360 lens, but the mic will be mounted on that, and then or the receiver will be on that, and then I'll have the mic on me, because a lot of times I'll have that way up in the air. I want to be talking, but it won't be picking it up unless I'm close to it. So that's what I'll use the mic for. Alright, I give a couple more casts and maybe we'll call it. Go get something to eat. Gotta love those 40-yard casts. Well, I do believe I may have fished this little fishing hole out. Okay, I'll do that. I'll check that out for you, Randy. But let's see, I still got 3 and 22 thumbs up. Woo, right on. But I think I'm gonna wrap things up here. Might go find me something to eat. Who knows, maybe I'll take a ride out to that lake and try it out, see if it's gonna be anything good for the morning, or see if it's, you know, really crowded over. There's a lot of people there, especially it being in town. And I forgot to check to see if I got good signal out there, so that'll be something to look for. But I appreciate everybody watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope I taught you a thing or two. And, you know, like I said, I enjoy watching everybody else's. I learn from them too. And had a good time. The weather's perfect. Got a nice little breeze blowing. So, but I do know that there's a storm rolling in, I think, tonight. So usually fishing before a storm's a good thing. So maybe that's why we had the good fortune of 3 today. Cooking lunch early. I don't even know what time it is. Anybody know what time it is? Unfortunately, when you're live, it won't show you what time it is. Hey, no problem. Glad you got to see how I use that bait, how I rig it up, especially being able to see how to hook that worm in it, or the weedless hook in your soft plastic baits. You could do those with a lot of those baits you got from Byron's Baits. And anybody else that might be watching, if you don't mind, go check out Byron's Baits too. He makes his own baits. And if you get a chance, go check out JV Outdoors too. He was the one that provided the rod and reel, and as a matter of fact, the braided line that was on there, he provided that too. Good guy. But you guys have a wonderful day. 10:16. Oh shoot, it's still early. Maybe I'll mosey around to the corner over here and try that, since the bass seem to be trolling the shoreline. But enjoyed it. Looks like I've been on here almost 4 hours. Really? I didn't think I went that long. 3 hours and 49 minutes. 3 hours and 50 minutes. But like I said, appreciate everybody watching. God bless y'all. Love you. And remember, be kind to one another. And we will see you on the next adventure.